Dr. Ashwin Dobariya welcomes you to Programming in C video series. In this practical video, we will see one Marksheet programs. In Marksheet programs, we have to input 5 subject marks, and according to the marks, we have to display the total marks and the results. And with the results, we have to also display the grade, like class, distinction, first class, second class. So that things we'll discuss in this video. And first of all, let me think about how we can think the logic of these programs. So first of all, the definition of this program is C program which display results of a student based on input 5 subjects marks using nested if else. So here we have to use the concept of nested if else to display the class, or you can say the grade. So how we can do this? Let's first we discuss about the logic. First of all, in the first steps, we'll think that how many variables we require to write these programs. So here first, as per the definitions, we have to input 5 subject marks. So for that we require 5 variable like M1, M2, M3, M4 and M5. So these 5 variable will store the 5 different subject marks. Here we will consider marks out of 100. Then for other information like roll number and name, so we'll take another 2 variables, and to display, finally we want to display a total, percentage and grade or a class. So for total and percentage, again we require 2 more variables. So ultimately 5 variable for marks, 2 variable for other details, 2 variable for total and percentage. So total we require approx 9 variables. So this is our first steps to think about how many variables we require to write this kind of programs. Once first step is over, then the next step is based on the input value like a 5 marks, right? What is the logic? How we can calculate the total, percentage and class? So total, it is very easy. We will perform additions of on these all 5 variables, then divide by 5 because here we have considered the marks out of 100. So total divide by 5, it will give us the percentage. And to calculate the or to display the class according to the percentage, for that we have to use the nested if else conditions. How to use it? Let's see again. So first of all, we'll declare different variables. Here 7 variables we require as an integer data types. One to store the name. Now name is not a single characters, but name is always a group of characters, and it is known as a character array. So how we can declare a character array? So like character data type, array name of 10, it means the size is 10. So in that name array we can store maximum 10 characters name. Then percentage, obvious, it is a floating value, so we'll declare percentage is a float. So these are the list of variables with the data types we require. Then next steps, we can calculate sum using addition operation, and that sum we will store into the total variable. After that, total will divide by 5, so which will give us a percentage. Now here total is an integer. Then if we only divide by 5 without 0.0, then what happen? It will not generate the decimal value of a percentage. Then it will not be exact percentage. So as we already discussed in the typecasting concept in the theory video, if one operands, here we can say total is one variable, 5.0 is another variable. So this is an integer variable, and if we mention another integer variable, then ultimately it will generate an integer output. But if one of the operand is a float, then the output of this operation is float, and generally the percentage or a division operation always generate the floating value. So that's why we have mentioned 5.0 instead of 5 only. Then once the percentage is calculated, after that we will write this condition. If percentage is greater than or equal to 17, then class is distinction, and if percentage is between 60 and 70, then first class. Then if percentage between 50 and 60, second class, 40 and 50, third class, and less than 40 will consider as a fail. So how we can write these conditions and display this class? Let's see the practicals in a turbo C. So to write these programs to calculate the mark sheet and display the grade or a class using nested if else. So first we require to include two header file stdio.h, conio.h. Then in main function, as we discussed, first we'll declare 7 integer variable. One is roll number, 5 variable for 5 subject marks and total. Then to store the name, here I have declared one character array with the size of 20 and one percentage variable of characters float. Now after that, clear screen, which clear the old outputs. Then first we'll ask the user enter your roll number, and that roll number will scan in a RNO variables. Similarly, the next is again we'll display one message, enter your name, and scanf %s ampersand name. Right now we have not discussed about the concept of the array. So once I explain the concept of array, at that time I will explain instead of scanf we can also use one built-in function, that is getS function. And the getS function and scanf, the only one difference is that in scanf if you use %s to store the character array, then it will not accept the space value. Space value means, suppose if I input my name like this, Ashwin space Dobariya, then it will ignore all the string after the space. It means it will store only Ashwin, it will not store a. So this scanf statement, which will not store the complete Ashwin space Dobariya, but it will store only Ashwin, because it will not, %s will not accept the string after the space. So to solve this issue, instead of scanf, the another function is getS function. We can write getS, is very easy, like in which we want to store. So this is the another way, getS function to store the name, and in that we can store this name also with space. So that is just for your knowledge. We'll discuss in details whenever we discuss the UDF function, user defined functions, in a theory part. After that, we'll ask the user input the marks of subjects 1 and store in M1. Similarly, input the subjects 2 marks and store in M2. Similarly, M3, M4, M5. So after that, we will input 5 subject marks, and once marks is input, then M1 plus M2 plus M3 plus M4 plus M5, which will calculate the sum, and it will store into total. And that total divide by 5.0, right, which will give us a percentage. And finally, all these information, student roll number, name, and all subject marks, whatever we have input, that will be displayed with totals and percentage. So these are the statement which display the overall output, but up to that it will display only roll number, name, 5 subject marks, total, and percentage. After that, if you want to display a class, so here we have to write the condition. Now first we'll check if percentage greater than or equal to 70. Here friends, we do not require to write the condition like that, percentage is less than or equal to 100, because percentage is always considered out of 100, right? So that's why this is an optional part. If you can mention only a percentage greater than or equal to 70, if percentage is greater than or equal to 70, if this condition becomes true, then class will be display distinction. But suppose this condition become false. False means the percentage is less than 70. And if percentage is less than 70, then it will comes to the else part. Again, under the else, again we will check another condition. If percentage is greater than 60, if percentage is greater than 60, this condition becomes true. It means percentage is between 60 and 70. And if percentage is between 60 and 17, then it will display the first class. But suppose a percentage is not greater than 60, what does it mean? It means percentage is less than 60. Again, in a else part, again we will check the another condition. If percentage is greater than or equal to 50, if percentage is greater than or equal to 50, it means the percentage is between the 50 and 60. After that, again, if percentage is greater than 50, then the class is you can say the second class. And if this condition become false, then percentage is below 50, then again we'll check if percentage is greater than 40. If it is yes, then it will between the 40 and 15, then it will display the third class. But suppose finally percentage is less than 40, then this condition becomes false. It will come to the else part, and finally the result is failed, so we can't give any class, and finally get CH. So in that way we can write these programs which accept the 5 subject marks, calculate total percentage, and display the grade according to the percentage. Let's we run this program. Suppose my roll number is 101, name is Ashwin, and first subject marks, for example, if I input the marks like that, then see here total is 342 and the percentage is 68, and it is a first class. Now suppose if I run these programs again 101, and if I mention my name like this, Ashwin space Dobariya, and see it will give directly this kind of error, because the scanf percentages will not accept the space data, right? So these code whatever we have discussed over here, I have given this code link in this video description part, so that source code you can download from that link. The link is available in this video description part, and you can do the practice in your laptop and desktop. So I hope friends you understood these concepts of how we can write the Marksheet programs in C language. So as I told you that in the description part I have given the link of these programs, source code files. So please friends, like this video, share with your friends so they can also get the benefits, and in this video description part I have also mentioned the links of other theory and practical video link for your reference. And in next video we will discuss the same program, but in that Marksheet program we will use the logical operators. So this is again a practice how we can use the logical operators in if condition. So please friends, like this video for getting the updates of upcoming video. Thank you very much.